welcome back. Well, I guess I can call this one Trash Day. This is just some of the confrontations I had out there on Friday with some of the cucks, as opposed to some of the nice conversations I have out here. You can see them juxtaposed against the the ones I have against the people that might disagree with some of the views I expound and with my artwork and all. And I think you can see where a lot of them just, they start the conversations, I don't want to finish them. And so that's why a lot of these conversations are kind of short. I mean, to the last guy I speak to his credit, at least he did engage, but he didn't, what he had to say was just basically little liberal talking points. And he started out, I asked him where he's from. He said, Chicago, so therefore I have to be liberal, as opposed, well, I guess, like he doesn't have a mind of his own. He has to go along with the crowd. So that's what this is. And so if you like me going ahead beating the hell out of liberals, this is your video. There'll be more to come for before long. So if you like this, you know what you do. You hit the like button. If you care, you share. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you have subscribed, well, look and subscribe again, because they do knock off subscribers. And as always, certainly the cucks aren't giving me any support out there. So, I could use it from you. I like it when you go get my designs. It's what triggers them, and my designs do come with a trigger back guarantee. So Threadless has got good quality. It's a good shop. So go to my shop, Badass Uncle Sam at .threadless.com, and pick yourself up a sweatshirt, t-shirt, a cell phone cover, a mug. Or if you just feel like throwing money at me, you can do it through PayPal at badassuncle.sam76@gmail.com. And that's how all that works. So remember, this is a spiritual battle that we're fighting on a material plane. So please give me the materials I need to fight this battle. Appreciate you. Love you all. God bless you all. And here we go on the streets. And I certainly would love to get it if I could. Please step over here. The question is right here.
Why was it removed?
Why would collude with Trump so America could have a strong military and economy?
Yeah, I mean, can you answer that one for me? I can't seem to get a good answer from anybody. I just don't understand. They say that, Trump colluded with Putin. So, well, why would he do that in order for us, Trump, to build up the military and the economy?
But he's not building up the military, and he's...
Ma'am, I've spoken to many men. I'm a magnet for military out here. A magnet. I speak to them every day.
Best president we've ever had.
And so, every one of them I've ever spoken to, every one of them says that this man right here, Trump, has absolutely built the military back up. Every single one. Now, are they lying to me, or are you lying to me?
I don't lie, and I didn't come to the French Quarter to argue politics.
No, but man, you said you'd answer my question, and then you called. You said that what I said was unreal. When I said, well, how can that be when all the military?
He is down 3%. New Honda is down. Did you miss the bubble, the pop?
I'm not a Trump fan.
Yeah, why not?
Because he sucks. He's a racist.
How's he a racist?
He's been a racist all his life.
Give me an example.
Shithole countries.
What's wrong with that? There are shithole countries. I mean, you don't think there's some countries better than other countries?
And there's
How about the fact that, the best employment for blacks? How's that? How about the fact that the Democrats started the KKK, Jim Crow? Huh? You got anything to say about that? No, not nothing. You're silent on that, aren't you? All silent on that, aren't you? You have nothing to say about that, do you? Huh?
I just wanted to be like,
All quiet now, aren't you? Just quiet now, aren't you? You ain't nothing to say. You started the conversation, but you don't want to finish it, do you? Nah, you're quiet now. All quiet now. You started that conversation. Now you're just pretending like you're over there, don't hear anything. I can't hear you. I can't hear you now. Awfully quiet now. Question for me then? I mean, can you answer that question? I mean, everybody says, well, he colluded with Russia.
Damn right he did.
Well, then can you answer why he did that to build up our military and economy?
And now we have another Trump supporter in the that was arrested this morning.
number 6.
Which has nothing to do with.
Take about 20 years to catch up to Hillary's 300.
Yeah, exactly. But you haven't answered my question, man.
I didn't like Hillary.
You
either.
haven't answered my question.
I don't need to answer your question.
Well, I asked you. You read it, and then you.
Follow him to the.
Ma'am. So you can't answer my question, right? All right. Can you answer the question? I mean, Roger Stone got, arrested today. You know that. I woke up to that, Roger Stone. So the whole Mueller investigation thing, started with Russian collusion, right? It's supposed to be Russia. But so this has been my question. I've never had anybody being able to answer this to me. If indeed Putin and Trump colluded to put Trump in office, why would Putin put Trump in office to rebuild our military and our economy? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I've been asking Democrats to give me an answer to that. Why would Putin collude with Trump to put Trump in office to rebuild our military?
Oops, I'm sorry.
I mean, can you give me an answer?
I think that question is. I don't think that question is built in reality. To be honest with you, I really don't. I think my brother-in-law was a 30-year Army veteran as a Russia expert.
Yeah.
Actually, Soviet expert. He speaks Russian. And Vladimir Putin is KGB, and he's very cagey and sly. And anytime you smell the stink of someone like that, and they're next to our president, and the president's not fighting back, there is something wrong. Vladimir Putin.
But he has fought. He killed 250 Russians in Syria. I mean, he's put sanctions on Russia more than Obama and Bush did.
I don't know about that. He just lifted.
Well, I do.
He just lifted big sanctions on a Russian corporation.
But I'm saying, I don't get why they collude to have him be put in office. Because every military guy I've spoken to, as a matter of fact, I spoke to a guy in the Air Force. He says, yeah, we're getting more money now. Our military is back in force. So why would Putin want Trump in office to rebuild our military? That's my question.
I don't think I think what he wants to do is make it look like there's nothing going on. And that is what Putin, being very cagey and very sly, is how he plays his game.
And what about the fact that we know of that Obama, when Obama was in with the State Department and Clinton, they sold 20% of our uranium to the Russians. Why was no big deal made out of that? I mean, if Trump sold 20% of our uranium to the Russians, Mueller would have arrested him yesterday.
I think there's a little bit more to that story, and I'm not quite sure what the whole story is, so I really can't argue it.
I can fill in the blanks for you because this is my job. I study this stuff.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I'm Uncle Sam, pal.
Yeah. I understand that, but for Trump to meet in secret with Vladimir Putin in
What
the Oval
secret?
Office?
Huh? Who met?
No,
what?
that was Donald Trump, and that was Vladimir Putin in the Oval Office, and at the different meetings that were being
When?
held.
But I have no idea. When was Putin ever here and met in the Oval Office as secret and Trump?
Oh, you're right. That didn't happen. He met with oh gosh, what is his name? The guy who was the.
And why shouldn't they meet? Why shouldn't the two leaders talk? What has that got to do with anything? Should we be talking rather than be adversaries?
You know what? The Russians are not exactly our friends, and I think that the way to talk to them is in a pretty tough manner, and not.
Well,
to
I
pull them in.
think, as I've said, we put more sanctions on them. What has that got to do with anything?
I just asked, were you in the service?
What has that got to do with what we're talking about?
Can I ask you a question?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking
I
about.
can't ask you a question?
Again,
He's been in the service
so?
for years.
So?
He knows what
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Okay? It has nothing. You're trying to deflect from the conversation, which I find what a lot of liberals do. When they haven't got an answer for anything, they deflect. They try to go ahead and, and now I'm an ass, right? Okay.
Wait, Tom.
Oh, just a minute.
Listen to the skirt, Tom.
That's my wife. No. We don't have to be unpleasant. You definitely.
Oh, she was the one that was unpleasant. I didn't start this. Go
I
ahead.
understand. Just we don't need to go there. I really think that the dealings with the former Soviet Union and a murderer like Vladimir Putin is just bad. Reflects.
So what
badly
are we
on the
supposed to do?
country.
Go to war with them?
No, but I just worry about why we have such close dealings with.
Why
someone.
shouldn't we have close ties? They could use a lot of what we have, and we could use a lot of their. They are rich in minerals and resources. They could use our technology. We could use their minerals and resources.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we be part of it? They are mostly a Christian nation. Matter of fact, they are probably the closest to us in culture than a lot of other. Countries. Why shouldn't we become friends with them?
I think that he's very sly. He's an autocrat, just like the Chinese.
Was he elected?
Yeah, by like 97%.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing? How does that even happen in a democracy? The man's corrupt. I think that's kind of what we're pointing to. And is there any newspapers or sources in Russia that aren't controlled by the state? Not anymore. He's killed a lot of.
Oh, and I suppose like the mainstream media we got here that is overwhelmingly anti-Trump, they're not controlled by whom?
I wouldn't speculate. I think they're controlled by any other.
Are you familiar with the church committee hearings?
No, I'm not.
1974.
That's a little bit before my time.
Well, you should look them up because they're relevant relevant today also.
Okay.
Because the church committee hearings showed that in every major news network that we have, CIA agents were placed. That everything was vetted for the CIA. Matter of fact,
that sounds like a. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. It doesn't.
Well, then look it up. I'm not making this up. Look up the church committee hearings. It's part of history.
Okay, I will do that. I will see what that has to say. That was a long time ago.
But do you think they've disappeared? I mean, it's not like the CIA has gotten any less, influence. They've got more influence over the years. Like so does all the. Matter of fact, that's why they call it the deep state. The deep state is in our lexicon now. It's part of it. Kennedy was killed 2 weeks after he gave a speech naming the shadow government. It's called The Speech Got Kennedy Killed. Just listen to it. He calls out the shadow government. It's bigger than all other governments. They have their own army. They have their own way of dealing with things. Their misdeeds are never publicized. You should look it up. It's an extraordinary speech. And then he blew his brains out 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I'll do that. My worry is that if we stop trusting government, if we don't have trust in...
Why would you trust the government at all?
Well, because that's what we have. Because I was part of the government when I was served. So is my father. So is my brother-in-law. So
Yeah,
it's-
but there's the idea is, we have a government, but governments in themselves, I mean, you listen to our founding fathers, they said that, the government is like a wild beast that should be caged because of the power it has. The more power you give it, the more it rules over the people. We should be ruling over the government. The government should not be ruling over us.
Right, but Trump is one of those guys who believes that he is the authority, that
I know.
not the
Matter of
people's
fact,
house.
he's busted up a lot of the government organizations. He's released with a lot. He's busted up a lot of the regulations that oversaw us, the people, allow giving us more freedom. He is a nationalist.
I don't believe that, destroying regulation makes us more free. I think it makes the corporations in this company, the big money, it makes them more open to
Hiring more people.
okay, hiring people is great, but if they pollute and they destroy our country via
There's laws against that.
yeah, but if they're not rigorously enforced, if there's no,
Then you enforce them.
Yeah, but his
They
administration hasn't
haven't been
doing that.
enforced. Oh, the hell they haven't.
But who did he put in front of the EPA? It was,
Well, the EPA for decades now has been nothing but a revolving door from people within the industries that were supposed to be regulated that go into the EPA. It's a con job. That's why I say if you build the government up, when you make agencies like that, they just perpetuate themselves to remain in business. I've talked to enough government people out here that I've talked to people in the EPA, in the Environmental Protection Agency, that told me that 90% of what they do is bullshit. It's just there to go ahead and perpetuate their own, spend the money at the end of the year so we can go and have some more money at the end of the year because we do. So they just
true,
spend
the
money on
military-
crap.
yeah, well,
So, they just perpetuate themselves. It doesn't do anything for us. I've had guys tell me out here that about 10% what we do is good. The rest of it is just make up crap.
well,
And they were honest with me. I mean, they told me. I just, most of the time when I'm doing, I scratch my head. I wonder, it's redundant bullshit.
I think what we're coming up into is an age where facts are hard to come by, and you and I look at facts two different ways. And we're
Well,
not sure
facts are facts. There's no alternative facts here.
right, but there's Fox News, which is bullshit news, and there's
Oh, really?
they
see.
live in a different universe.
They do.
Aren't you aware of that?
No.
Okay, so that's how we see things differently. You look at the
Well,
Fox
let me
universe-
give you this. Let me show you this. See, you see Fox right here. They lie, right? They lie. Okay.
Oh, they're not there.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Now what do you got to say?
I'm saying that the Fox News is President Trump's news media
And
outlet.
so all the rest of them tells the truth.
I think that they should.
What about the Covington thing that just went down, where they had that Indian who goes around banging drums in people's faces, walked up to these kids, right, and then they started demonizing the kids, and then they found out that this guy that all of these guys, oh, he's an Indian, oh, he's a Vietnam veteran, oh, turned out he's stolen valor. He never ever served in Vietnam. That he has a criminal record, and that for the past few decades, all he does is go around and try to instigate things, so he can go ahead and then try to create lawsuits in case when anybody tries to come up against him. Oh, I'm the victim, which every Democrat does. They love to be victims. Professional victims is what they are.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, really?
Here's a smart-ass kid getting up in a
Smart-ass kid.
That's what he was.
How was he smart ass? Because the Indian came up to him. They were standing there waiting for the bus.
No, I don't think so.
What do you think? We saw two different videos?
We saw two different things.
We did?
Yeah, I think so. I think on all the issues we're looking at it from two different ways. I gotta go, bud. I'll see you later.